yeah, I agree with that one. Brew, any issue with the call?
No, I don't have any issue with the play call. It was a good call. It got Buddy Hield an open look. He just missed it. And I'm not, when I get, Steph is obviously an all-time great player, and I get why people would have wanted to see him take that shot, but I'm not the guy that feels like the best player always has to take the shot.
Of course.
Everybody in that building, including the Clippers, was thinking it's going to Steph Curry. So he's a good decoy. He picked, Hield's man, which was Kawhi. It's not a terrific look, but it's a good look. And he just totally took a bad shot. But if you remember about a month ago, not even a month ago, when the Lakers had that game against Chicago, when Josh Giddey hit the half-court shot to win it, with 30 seconds left, Austin Reeves had an ISO on the right wing with Luka and LeBron on the left watching him. It was an ISO for him, and he made the shot, like a little 8-footer to put him up 3. Then the last play of regulation, he gets it again on an inbound pass from Luka. LeBron was open. They could have went to LeBron. And they go to Reeves, and he lays it up. What would have been the game winner if Giddey hadn't hit it. My point is, this notion that my best player always has to take the last shot is ludicrous. Jordan didn't always take the last shot. LeBron hasn't always taken the last shot. Luka, as I just mentioned, no. He got a decent look. He just missed it. I got no problem.
And also, Steph Curry's the greatest shooter ever. He is not historically that great in that specific setting. A lot of the iconic, huge Steph shots are shots like that kill you. The night-night shots. You know what I mean?
Right.
The Warriors up
the dagger.
Exactly. And so the last minute in his career, tie or take the lead threes, we can show it to you. He's not that good. And so, by the way, no one's that good.
I was going to say, what is good?
Right. No. Nobody good is 30%. Great is 35% historically. So
Hield has hit 2 game-winning buzzer beaters. Steph has hit 1 in their career.
And so, and Hield is, if Hield's not out there to shoot threes, and he's not out there for anything, and he got a cleaner look than Steph was going to get. And so I understand Steph, after having a really shaky first 3 quarters, was unbelievable in the fourth quarter. It wasn't as good in overtime. But so I understand the hot hand feature of it. But that's not why the Warriors lost. The Steph piece of why they lost is the 8 turnovers were brutal for them. And it's the same way they lost the Spurs game, with Steph and Draymond turning the ball over late. But the biggest single culprit is the guy who guaranteed a championship for the Warriors, and it's Draymond Green. And at the end of regulation, the Warriors got away with it, but he cost the Warriors. This was brutal, and I'll explain why. There's an 8-second difference between shot clock and game clock there, and he just gives a foul with 2 on the shot clock. The Warriors were going to get the final shot of regulation, either in a tie game or down 2, and Draymond just gives a foul. Bob Myers in the broadcast said, it's fine because they're not going to the free throw line. But it allowed the Clippers, there you can see the clock now, to be able to hold it to the last possession. So that was a mental mistake by a guy who claims to be the single best defensive player in basketball this year. And then, in overtime, after Draymond, to his credit, hit a huge 3 to cut it from 6 to 3, got a wide open layup, and was more interested in doing some gymnastics routine to try to get a foul call than watch his left leg here.
Yeah, that was just.
Go
up, make the
What
shot.
are we doing?
If you just go up
honest
normal,
to God,
you make that. Yeah.
What are we doing in a massively important game?
Yeah.
And if people think I'm being too harsh on him, I said this the day after Draymond gave this quote we're about to hear, that he is writing a check that Steph Curry is going to be asked to cash. Now you got to do it from the play-in, which no one's done. Now you are potentially facing either Wild's Rockets in round 1 or the World's Thunder in round 1 or no one in round 1 because you guys blew the game against the Spurs and because of those mistakes.
Right. This is that
was a great game. It was a great game, and James Harden was unbelievable.
Absolutely.
It would have been nice if the Defensive Player of the Year could have slowed down Harden or Kawhi, but he couldn't. And
nobody can.
Well, that's right, but nobody else is
slowing him down. I'll kill him for the missed layup He's a great defender.
He's a great defender.
Nobody, I don't care who the defender is. You ain't stopping Harden and Kawhi when they got it going. I mean, that's just you make it tough on them.
Yeah, I mean, they both had over 30.
Yeah, I mean,
and Steph and Butler had.
All right, so let's talk a big picture. With the loss, the Warriors are headed to the play-in to play Memphis.
We talked about this last week. They could have just said, we could face Houston in the first round versus facing the Lakers if we win and not really gone for it. I like the mentality of bring it on. We're trying to win. Whoever we play, that's how it is. But you know what? I really like this. I think this is good for the Warriors. Ooh. I get it that Jimmy Butler's got the quad, that Steph's got the thumb, that Draymond's got the bruised ego from smoking that layup, as he said, right? But if they take care of business against Memphis, which hadn't beaten a winning team in the West in like 2 months.
Since January, I think.
January, right? Then they will still get 4 full days rest before facing Houston. And look, I don't think they'll beat the Lakers either way, but I'd much rather face them in the second round. And I think as fans of the game, we'd rather see it in the second round than in the first round. They should have. Now, I'm not saying Memphis, because one and done, we know anything can happen. So they're going to have to go there and play well, but they should beat Memphis. Then you get a much better matchup with the Rockets. And I know that's your team. I saw you coming in today talking about you're a Rockets guy. If your Rockets play the Warriors, they're going down. They're going down. So, yeah, this is great for the Warriors.
All right, so here's the thing. I think the Warriors were maybe more comfortable with the Lakers matchup than you or I thought they should be. I think a lot of people feel like, we want to play small. The Lakers will kind of allow you to play small because the Lakers also don't want to play a center. They just beat them, as opposed to when they just played the Rockets, both teams at full strengths, and the Rockets, when they were, I think they were 14, that's when they were still undefeated with that starting five, and the Rockets beat them by 10. Memphis has beaten Steph Curry and Draymond Green in a play-in game in Golden State. And that was to end their season. That was when the Warriors were the 8, lost to the Lakers in the first one, and then Memphis beat them in the second one. So that's got to, bounce around your brain a little bit. And I think there are – Wildes, do you have your pencils?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Can you get them for a second?
Yeah, hold on. I'm ready. You got to tell me what – are you asking me a question?
Well, no. I just need you to put up the vibe meter, if you would. Isn't that what that is, your vibe antenna? Did I screw this up? How are you feeling about the Warriors' vibes right now?
Not great.
Not great. The Jonathan
I think they're better than Memphis is.
Memphis, right.
No, that's competition.
Well, I don't even know if Memphis has bad vibes or just, bad maturity. But they sure seem to be having fun in Memphis. But there are a lot of pieces of this that were concerning. The Jonathan Kuminga, who I have thought for a long time is a player that is a little overvalued by trade Nixon in some circles of the media. You know who doesn't seem to overvalue him? Steve Kerr, who was like, you know what? Not playing today. And that was his first DNP coach's decision in months.
Can I just push back on that?
Sure.
Did it register for you that he stayed and worked out? And it was like you could take that a few different ways. You could pack up your stuff and not talk and leave. He stayed there by himself and was shooting. It felt like the vibe meter felt like that was a good sign.
That was good.
Maybe. I mean, again, you're certainly right that is better than him, pouting or doing something. What I would say is I think most of the people that think the Warriors have very high upside, he's a part of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Is that he is
fringe.
Yeah,
but they made that run with him on the bench, or not on the bench, hurt when Butler first got there.
But as of late, he had been playing, and so there's that to me. Jimmy Butler getting hurt is something as far as how it matters to this game. And here is what I believe, and I think you'll agree with me. If they lose Tuesday, their season is over. There is no coming back from a loss on Tuesday.
If they lose Tuesday, you think they won't even make the playoffs?
No, I think they might as well not make the playoffs. If they lose
Thunder?
Tuesday and then all of a sudden have to, with the Thunder having rested for more than a week, being a 68-win team waiting for you.
Yeah. You got to win 5 of 8.
Right, and so to me, they are Tuesday, their season, yeah, that's right, Wildes. Okay. Their season ends with a loss on Tuesday, and I understand they're 7-point favorites. They should win, right. But I don't think any of us would be shocked if that is a close game in the fourth quarter.
No,
and
with Memphis' talent, you just can't overlook them.
Right, and so for all those reasons, I think this is really rough week for Golden State.
But here's the thing, and again, I get, Steph even said it before going into that game yesterday. If you don't win, then you're taking a risk. You're gambling because a one-and-done situation, anything can happen. But if they had won yesterday, we think their season was over anyway. They're facing the Lakers in the first round. And I get it. I'll give them a shot. They have a shot. I think they're a good team. But I give them a better chance of beating OKC than beating the Lakers.
So I think that here's where I differ on that. If they had been playing the Lakers, it would have been fully rested, a week plus off, none of this. The context now changes. And I think that, I agree with you, the rest is less of a big deal if they win Tuesday. Because they're still, you know what I mean, Tuesday till Sunday, it's fine. I just also think Houston might be a uniquely tough opponent for them. Because of Houston, the Warriors are going to try to beat you defensively, and Houston's we love that idea of a game. The Warriors are going to try to, with Jimmy and Draymond, out-toughness you, and Ime Udoka's okay, give it a try, and I'm very curious.
Yeah, but the Rockets have these droughts of scoring. They don't have one great scorer who's efficient.
100% agree. But I also, Amen Thompson on Steph Curry for 7 games. Even, you know what I mean? Even if you think the Warriors are going to get through it, that is a bear of a first-round series.
But every one would have been tough.
Yeah, no, that's what they needed to do was beat the Spurs.
Yeah, that was
what they needed to do was beat the Spurs and get the 5 seed.
Every first-round match.
Here's the title odds, and I know we're well, what do we think about the Warriors? Title odds. Thunder, 1 seed. Celtics, reigning champs, 2 seed. Cavs, 1 seed. Lakers, 3 seed. Warriors are in the play-in, but they have the 5th best title odds. Do you think that's just nostalgia money? Is that smart money? These
are odd odds.
That's what I thought they were odd odds as well. I didn't know if it was a gambling quirk or not.
The way to read those odds is Vegas has both the Celtics and the Thunder as favorites versus the field in their conference. Vegas is very confident. The NBA Finals we are getting is the one that Captain Easy Stance has been promoting all year, which is Celtics Thunder.
Correct.
And so that's what it says. And then after that, I think some of it is because right after the Warriors, I believe, is Denver.
Yeah.
It's what you have is the 3 teams who had awesome regular season, with the 2 teams with awesome regular season, the defending champs, and then teams that have superheroes. Luka, LeBron, Steph, Joker. And that's what they're saying. The only way you're beating one of those other teams is one of your all-time legendary players goes crazy, and the other teams don't have those.
And I think, let's see, and you've been doubting it and questioning it, and maybe rightly so. Let's see if they get playoff Jimmy.
Correct.
Tied with the Thunder are the Clippers. Oh, and the Celtics are tied too, a 3-way tie, and then the Wolves. So, Brew, traditionally, your Clippers, but last week you said they were my Clippers all of a sudden. How dangerous are the Clippers in round 1 versus Denver that used to be my team and might not because I can't have both teams?
So dangerous that for a round, I'm going with the Clippers.
Oh, good to see that coming.
Clippers again for this round. Now, look, I'm not disrespecting Denver. This obviously could go either way. To me, it's definitely a 6 or 7 game series. But I like the Clippers. That stretch, 18-3. Here's some of the teams they beat. Detroit, the Knicks twice, Sacramento, Miami, Atlanta, Cleveland, Memphis, Dallas twice, Houston, and Golden State. Those are some good teams.
Lost to OKC in a game that came down to the final. Yeah. They lost by 2 in a game that was back and forth.
Yeah, they are playing great basketball. And they, obviously, you got the 2 great scores. Actually, 3. They're one of the few teams with 3 20-point scores. Denver's defense has been a problem this year. And you've got a guy in Zubac who's having a great year. It's 16 and 12 he's averaging. Obviously, he's not Jokic, but he's big enough.
Potential All-NBA or Defensive Player of the Year inclusion?
I considered him, but we'll see.
All right,
but
that means no.
I'll leave it open for tomorrow.
No. Okay,
but he's a guy that can at least match up size-wise and physicality-wise with Jokic, so he can wear him down a little bit. And I just like them, and they have a coaching advantage. Dave Adelman, who knows? Maybe he'll be a Hall of Famer like his dad one day. Right now, Ty Lue is definitely the better coach. So I give them that advantage as well. Yeah, I like the Clippers in this.
Wildes, are you back with your Nuggets?
Take your Clippers, man.
We can't both have the Clippers.
So you go?
I guess I'll go with the Nuggets for the sake of the show.
Nick
No,
copied
that's
my
not
pick
true.
for the Lakers.
Yeah, you're such a phony.
Here's the problem.
You're going with the Nuggets because you said today at 10 a.m. you have the Nuggets.
I know,
you
but
love
it's
the
kind of
Nuggets.
like just, I don't know. I'm not.
It's just a first-round matchup. It's not the final.
The head coach is coaching his 4th game.
So then go with your Clippers.
Yeah, but
It's like, why'd you lose? Like, well, hey, guys, it's my 4th game.
But you're big on
Vibes are through the roof.
Hold on, you're big
I
on
don't believe the
you're
vibe.
big on player coaches, and Joker kind of.
I did like that.
Yeah. So
Here's the thing I don't like. I don't like coaches that have only coached 3 games. I don't like not shooting threes. The other day they made
they don't shoot
5
a lot of
threes.
Yeah, you don't like bad defense.
And I don't like
Clippers
bad
don't shoot a
defense.
ton either, but
5.
they shoot it well.
They made 5. I think they went
Both
5
teams
or
shoot it
24 the other day. I guess I'll take them. But
Okay.
Not
I'll give
I don't know what.
by the
I don't
way,
know what that means.
I don't want
I have
the
no
Clippers.
idea. Who
I
you
don't want
it's
the
mealy mouth
Clippers.
All right,
nonsense.
And
so
you made
you
me
pulling
take
for the
them.
Nuggets?
And so,
Yes.
All right, then go
And
Nuggets.
so luckily, I'll break the tie.
Good.
And I'll let you guys know my pick Friday because I haven't decided yet.
Okay,
However,
fair.
I will tell you. So this is what I'm excited about, and then this is to me the bigger picture of how this fell. I'm excited. This is James Harden referendum time. Once again, annual event.
But
is
here-
this the
okay, go
year
ahead.
that because James Harden yesterday was the best player on the court.
Phenomenal.
He was unbelievable.
12 in overtime.
It was like prime Harden with the Rockets against the Warriors in the regular season. Where it was like, oh man, this dude's coming for Steph, trying to win MVP. He was awesome. Kawhi was awesome.
Yep.
Dunn is a great defender.
Yep.
Zubac, who famously Magic Johnson's final move before leaving the Lakers, was like, I'll give you Mike Muscala. I'll give you Zubac for Mike Muscala. Thanks, Madge. That's what I'm excited about. But here's the other thing, and Wildes made fun of me in the walk-in video for wanting to talk about this from the Lakers side of things.
Don't.
This is just wait. Don't say don't.
Just quickly.
Don't
Just quickly
It's
do
not
it.
quickly. This is important. If you are the Oklahoma City Thunder, this bracket potentially fell in a way you just hate. Where you now, first of all, you're a game away from having to face the Warriors in round 1.
Yep.
That sucks. And you are guaranteed in round 2 to either face Denver, full-fledged mojo back. You know what I mean? Denver that's won 4 in a row or 3 in a row since firing the coach would have just won a round in the playoffs. Jamal Murray looking good. Or a Clippers team that at the moment has won 18 of 21 and then would have just won a series. So figure out, would have won 22 of whatever, however long the series goes, and is feeling great. Either way, you are guaranteed in round 2. Oh, I have a finals MVP staring across the floor from me in either of these matchups while we have the youngest team ever. Like, I think for Oklahoma City, the bracket fell as hard as it possibly could have.
Really?
Yes. Given.
I just think, again, I hate to keep beating this dead horse. Other than Memphis, and they weren't going to play Houston, obviously, in the first round, it's a bunch of tough matchups.
Yeah, but if you.
Like Minnesota, and we'll get to them in the late. Like, I think they would give Oklahoma City a lot of trouble.
See,
So I just think that outside of Memphis, everybody you're going to face is going to be tough out west.
I understand. I guess my point would be, if you're Oklahoma City, it's like, okay, Houston and Minnesota, they have similar profiles in us in that young, talented, unproven. You know what I mean? But we have more talent, and we were better than them. They can't play either one of them early. You know what I mean? The teams that have the veteran, proven guys are the teams they're going to have to go through, guaranteed one of them in round 2, and a game away from the damn Warriors in round 1. I just think if you're the Thunder, you're bummed out.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.